Hey everyone, and welcome to another video. So today what we're doing is taking a look at another package from the guys over at Zeera. So they've actually sent me a sort of preview of what's to come with regards to the iPhone 13, and this is actually a set of all of their iPhone 13 cases. So what we'll do is we'll take a look at all of these and we'll compare them with my previous existing one for the 11 Pro Max. We are expecting to see quite a few changes in terms of the sizing and everything for this year's models, especially around the camera modules. So what we'll do is we'll take a quick look today, just a general unboxing and first look, and then once I will be purchasing the iPhone 13 as well, most likely the 13 Pro Max. So once they do actually arrive, or once that does arrive, I will then do a follow-up video and do a test fit and just give you another idea in terms of what the actual fit is like around the phone itself. So first thing I will do is, I believe this top one is the 13 Pro Max model. Yeah, it is. So what we'll do is I'll leave that one to a side. And one thing that I did notice was, in terms of the difference between the mini and the sort of normal 6.1 model, and the Pro and the 12 Pro Max, there is quite a big difference in the camera modules themselves. Obviously, most people, if you've seen the leaks, you will know that you've probably already seen the fact that it's got a much bigger camera bump. But I wasn't actually expecting the standard one to be so different. So getting these unboxed, and what I'll do is just drop them down in order of smallest to biggest. Okay, so here we have it, and this one right here is the previous 12 Pro Max case. So just taking a look at these side by side. So firstly, they have actually listened to some advice that I actually gave them. So first thing I'll do is I'll just quickly compare the 12 Pro Max case with the 13 Pro Max case. And one of the things that I didn't actually like about the 12 Pro Max case was these sort of the bumpers on the corners. Now I get why a lot of case manufacturers put them on there. It does mean that if you ever drop your phone, it does offer a lot more protection, but it just adds so much more bulk by adding those. And what it looks like they've actually done is, rather than have those, to actually just incorporate a slightly thicker bumper all around, and that meant that they could actually get rid of those particular corners. So when you actually look at these side by side, despite the fact that the chassis itself is identical in terms of size, the 13 Pro Max case is actually significantly smaller, and once you actually make use of these side by side, you'll actually notice that it does feel smaller in the hand, just because you've not got those extra sort of bumps, if you like. In terms of the camera modules themselves, between the 12 and the 13 Pro Maxes, you do also get a raised lip on the 13 Pro Max case, so that once again is another nice little touch. It just means that your cameras are protected. For those of you who don't like putting your phone with the actual rings of the camera onto a flat surface, it means that you've got a little bit of protection there. We are also expecting the buttons to move slightly, from what I understand. So it's mainly the silence switch. You might be able to just notice there is, from the looks of it, just slightly lowered. No, sorry, slightly raised. So the mute switch is actually slightly raised, and it looks like the buttons themselves are also slightly, the volume up and down are slightly raised as well. And flipping to the other side, I'm not sure if this might just be how I'm holding them, but yeah, it looks like the actual power button itself is also slightly raised up as well. Whether or not this is because they're actually bringing the millimeter wave to all of the models, I don't know. Or it could just be some sort of rearrangement to do with the camera module on the newer ones. But yeah, looking at these two side by side, I think the 13 Pro Max case is a very good improvement over their sort of first gen cases for the MagSafe cases. So this is probably one that I'll chuck onto my phone straight away. It's actually reassuring, the fact that I now know that day one, as soon as the phone arrives, I'll already have a case that actually fits perfectly. Now, if you do order any of these cases, just be aware that you do have film both on the outside as well as on the inside, and then also on the rings themselves as well. So obviously do make sure that you take all of that in order to make sure that you're not getting any of that rainbowing. At the moment you might be able to just see all of the little dots and everything that you're getting. Obviously right now it probably looks scratched up as well. That's basically just because it's still wrapped in the protective plastic. So yeah, that's a nice little comparison between the Pro models, if you like. Now, where you kind of see the biggest difference and the biggest impact is between the two sort of 6.1 models. So unlike the 12 series, the 12 Pro Max series, this time around the standard 6.1 Pro will also get the same camera module as you get on the Pro Max. So this year, even if you get the smaller one, you're still getting, I'm guessing, identical camera, but we'll have to wait and see if it is fully identical in terms of the spec and everything as well. But as you can see from that, there is a significant difference between the camera module on the standard 6.1 and the Pro model. It's significantly bigger on the Pro model. Everything else will be completely identical. Just holding it like that, you should be able to see just how much bigger the camera module will be. And then finally, coming on to the smallest one, and this one really does blow you away with just how small this is when you've been used to using the Pro Max. I'm almost tempted to order a mini just to see the sort of size comparison and see what it's like to actually live with. If you think I should do that, drop a comment in the comment section down below. But yeah, for those of you who do purchase the mini, I believe this might actually be the last mini that they produce for at least a few years going forward. Yeah, so that is the lineup for the iPhone 13 series. Once the 13 Pro Max does come out, I will be purchasing it, so I will do a follow-up video showing the fitment on this particular case. What I will do is I'll just quickly insert another clip as well, just showcasing what it's like with the phone installed. Okay, so here we are back with the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and what I'll do is I'll quickly firstly just install it into last year's case. And as you can see, it fits really nice. You have the ring perfectly centered around the Apple logo itself. Pretty much exactly like the OEM sort of clear case that you get. It's just obviously these sort of corner bumps, and I was never really a fan of. So what I'll do now is I'll just quickly throw it into the iPhone 13 Pro Max case and just take a look at the difference. So firstly, straight away, the actual profile of the corners and everything like that is a lot better. I actually prefer just having these rounded corners rather than the corner bumps. In terms of the camera module itself, taking a look at that, I'll try and bring this in as close as I can, and you might be able to notice that it's not actually that much different on the 13 Pro Max in comparison to the sort of smaller modules. Obviously this particular one, it just looks comically big. It's more than half the actual width of the phone, the actual camera module, whereas on the 13 series I'd probably say it's roughly around half exactly. So it doesn't look quite so massive. In terms of placement and sort of angle as well, it seems kind of strange where it may just be the fitment because the buttons aren't quite lining up, but from that you might just be able to notice that it's almost as though it's tilted to one angle. But yeah, in terms of fitment and everything, at the bottom your holes and everything look identical, so that all should be perfectly fine. Power button does actually line up relatively relatively good. It's not quite perfect, which is probably why it's actually twisted slightly. Yeah, and having looked at it now, yeah, all of the buttons are actually slightly out. That's what's actually twisting it round. So yeah, the camera module between the 12 Pro Max and the 13 Pro Max, there's not a massive difference. It is bigger, and you probably will notice it. And one thing that I'm expecting to happen as well, I'm expecting the actual rings of each camera themselves to also be slightly bigger as well. It doesn't feel chunky like some of these kind of clear cases do, and as the sort of last year's model did, this just felt too chunky to me, whereas this particular one, it seems to fit a bit better in terms of just being able to hold it without having those corners bulge out. Now they have actually gone slightly differently, where they've gone with air pockets instead of the sort of raised corner sections now, so hopefully that still offers you the same sort of protection. And you do also get, I'm not sure if I'll be able to show this or not, but you do also get a slight lay on the table design as well, both front and back, so all your camera modules will be protected, as well as your screen will be protected as well, even if you don't install a screen protector. Anyway, that's it for this particular video. If you haven't already done so, please do subscribe to the channel and also hit the bell icon, that way you'll be notified whenever I upload any new videos. And I'd really appreciate if you also give this video a thumbs up. And other than that, thanks very much for watching.